Hello yarn friends, today I'm going to be showing you how to make this easy dog Christmas hat, or some might call it a Santa hat. So I'm going to go ahead and show you the materials that we're going to need for today's video. For the red, I am using this True Value tweed. You can use any red medium 4-weight yarn of your choice, purple color, whatever you want to do. And then just some white yarn. You will also need something to cut your yarn with, a tapestry needle, a stitch marker, a crochet hook. I'm using a 5.5 millimeter hook. I like to use Furls hooks. If you guys haven't heard of these yet, check the description box down below. I will have a link to their website. You will also need some kind of pom-pom. You can either have one like this, or you can simply make one with your white yarn. Now let's go ahead and jump into how to actually make this easy, beginner-friendly dog Santa hat. Now, to begin, we are going to start with a magic ring or the magic loop. If you're unsure of how to do that, go ahead and actually click the link right up on the corner of the screen here, and I do have a video on how to do that. Once you have your magic ring, you want to make 8 single crochets into that space. So there's 1, 2, go ahead and make your 8 and meet me back here. From this point on, we're going to be working in double crochets, and we are simply going to just place 1 double crochet into our first single crochet right there. So double crochet, you just yarn over and go in, go through 2, and then go through 2. At this point, you do want to make sure that you put your stitch marker into the first stitch every single time, just so that you know where the beginning is. So for rounds 2 through 14, you simply want to place 1 double crochet into every single stitch. So at the end of row 14, you will have a total of 8 double crochets in your work. So I'm going to go ahead and do this. Make sure, like I said, to move your stitch marker up each row, and I will meet you back here. This is what it should be looking like once you have your rows done. Now moving on to row 15, this is going to be our first increase row. So we are actually going to be placing 2 double crochets into every single space. So go ahead and make your first stitch, place your marker, and then double crochet back into that same space where you just made your first double crochet, just like that. And now just place 2 double crochets into every stitch. At the end of row 15, you will have a total of 16 double crochets. So go ahead and do that, and then meet me back here. For row 16, you will place 1 double crochet into the first stitch, and then 2 double crochets into the following stitch. So this is going to be an increase row. So you will continue to do that all the way around. So into the next stitch, you will do 1 double crochet. And then into the following stitch, you will place 2 into that same stitch. At the end of row 16, you will have a total of 24 double crochets. Here we are back for row 17. Now we'll place 1 double crochet into the first stitch. Into the next stitch, we'll place 1 double crochet. And then into the third stitch, we will place 2 double crochets. So go ahead and continue to do that all the way around. So we'll do 1 double crochet, 1 double crochet, and then into the third, 2 into the same stitch. At the end of this round, you will have a total of 32 double crochets. So go ahead and do this all the way around, and I will meet you back here. For row 18, it will also be an increase row. We will do 1 double crochet into the first stitch. Into the second stitch, we will place a double crochet. Into the third stitch, we'll place a double crochet. And into the fourth stitch is where we will be increasing. So 1, 2, 3, and then into that fourth is where we will place 2 double crochets. At the end of this row, we will have a total of 40 double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, and then into the fourth stitch, 2 double crochets. Go ahead and do this, and then meet me back here. We have 1 more row of increase, and then we will be done with increasing. Now for row 19, we're going to do 1 double crochet over the next 4 stitches, and then we'll be increasing into the 5th stitch. At the end of row 19, you'll have a total of 48 double crochets, and then we are actually going to move on to the ear portion of this pattern. Now, moving on to row 20, I'm gonna go ahead and work this whole row with you. So into the first stitch, we are going to place 1 double crochet, and then into the next 5 stitches, we will place double crochets as well. So here is 1, 2, technically that would be our third stitch, 1, 2, 3. So we're doing over 6 stitches. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and 6. Now what we want to do is chain 9 stitches, and then we're going to skip 9 stitches. So loosely chain 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I'm sorry, 9, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I can't remember what I said, but you want to chain 9. Now we're going to skip 9 stitches. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So into this 10th stitch, we are actually going to place a double crochet. So we want to yarn over, place our hook into that 10th stitch because we skipped 9, and then we're simply going to make a double crochet, just like that, okay? So you should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. Now into the next 9, let's see here, 15 stitches, we're going to place double crochets. So 1, 2, 3, some more yarn. I'm going to go ahead and fast forward through this part. Okay, now we are going to make our other ear. So we are going to chain up 9 again, loosely. 1, oops, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. I'm sorry if you hear that stomping. I live in an apartment and I have upstairs neighbors. So now we're going to skip 9. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, and into that 10th stitch is where we will place our next double crochet. There you go. Now we are going to double crochet across to the last stitch, but don't finish off your last double crochet because we are actually going to switch over to our white yarn, and I will show you how I do that. Okay, so here we are at our last stitch, and we're only going to pull through 2 stitches. Now leave quite a bit of a tail and go ahead and cut that off and grab your white yarn. Now I have my white yarn, and I simply just kind of hold that on my hook and then grab the yarn that we cut, and then you're just going to simply pull this through the last 2 stitches on your hook. Now we will tie this, and I do this once I do the next round. So now we're going to be switching over and actually working with half double crochets. So we are going to yarn over and go into that first stitch, draw up a loop, and then pull through all 3 stitches just like that. At this point you can go ahead and tie your yarn and do a few knots. I like to do 4 knots. Now at this point just go ahead and place half double crochets all the way till you get to the point of your chain. At this point, you just want to place half double crochets all the way around each stitch for the ear and all the way around this row. So go ahead and do that, and I will meet you back at our first stitch. Now for row 22, oops, do one more row of half double crochet. At this point, you do want to make sure that you place your stitch marker so that you know where the beginning of the round is. So go ahead and work this round of half double crochets and then meet me back here. Now for the last row of our pattern, we are just simply going to do one row of single crochet into every single stitch. Again, make sure you move your stitch marker up, work one row of single crochet, you guys, and meet me back here. Here we are at the end of the row. I went ahead and already cut my yarn. We are just going to slip stitch into that first stitch and then chain up and pull through. At this point, I always like to make a little knot. I did this one a little different than my last one, but I wanted more white on this. So at this point, you have your little ears, you have your guy. You want to go ahead and sew on your palm onto the bottom. I like to do that just using this leftover here. And I went ahead just into the center of the ear here and tied on and just made a chain of 40 on each side for the little ties. So there you have it, you guys. That's how you make an easy, beginner-friendly Santa Christmas hat for your lovely dog. This fits about medium to large-sized dogs. Please make sure you subscribe to my channel. Leave me a comment down below. Let me know what you thought of today's video, and I will see you guys all next time for another crochet video.